Let's see what I got here. All right, can you guys see my screen now?
Yes.
Yep.
Excellent. Let me get my other screen up here real quick. All right. Well, good. We're going to talk, last month we talked about sales. I hope that was helpful to you. We'll probably come back to that and readdress that a little bit more, just because I think that's always an ongoing struggle for some people. And to be honest with you, it's always changing, so it's always good to have new information. Today, one of the other struggles that I think a lot of franchise owners have is they have a hard time not only hiring. Hiring seems to be one of those things that's a problem. It takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of effort, and a lot of times you don't always come up with the right person, so that could be a struggle. But let's say you got people that are already hired, or you're going to hire some people. How do we keep them? How do we keep them busy? How do we keep them happy? How do we keep them from moving on to other places? That seems to be a big issue. The more I talk to small business owners out there, the more I see that turnover is probably one of their biggest expenses throughout the year, and one of their biggest things that bogs them down, because they lose somebody, and guess what? You're back to doing the job. You're now the new operator, or the new guy working on the line, and now you can't go do the things that you need to do to run the business, and it's just this huge snowball effect, and it's never fun. And to be honest with you, it's a tough time to hire, because most people who are not working right now don't want to work. And so how do you find good people that are not working? Well, the answer is you got to find some people who are probably already working or dissatisfied with their job now and ready to move on. So we'll go ahead and jump into this, and I've come up with 6 different ways to retain employees, trying to keep it simple. And again, if you have anything that you want to interject, the reason why we use Zoom is because it's an open mic. I kind of facilitate the conversation. I feel like there's always good things to be shared, and you guys are in the field, and you can share best practices with everybody who's on board with this. And this is being recorded, so other people that work with us have the opportunity to go and listen to this that can't make it tonight, and you guys can always go back and refer to it as well. So let's go ahead and jump right into it, and we'll start talking about this stuff. So what is the real cost of turnover with associates? Does anybody know? Anybody have any idea what it costs to turn over employees?
No.
It's a lot more money than you think it is. Mike, were you going to say something?
No, I had no idea.
Okay. So, coming from corporate America, Tim, you probably can relate to this. They always talk about turnover, because turnover costs so much money. It's actually very quantifiable. You can find out how much it costs if you're willing to go down that rabbit hole of trying to figure out everything that employee touches or does that affects your business. But as a rule of thumb, most people out there use this right here as kind of a rule of thumb. So people who are making less than $30,000 a year, usually about 16% of that salary, or around $4,000, is how much it costs to turn somebody over. That's a huge expense. I mean, if they're making over 30,000, that jumps quite a bit up there. But most of our technicians out there are probably in less than that $30,000 range, or just around there. So if you think about that for a second, if you turn over 2 or 3 people every year, that's a pretty sizable chunk of money that you're wasting, and that's not including the time that you put into training, hiring, interviewing, all of those different things that go along with this. So if you understand the real impact, and we haven't even really talked about what that does to the other employees. We haven't really talked about what that does to your jobs and the quality of work that happens. It doesn't talk about the feel of the business when you're shorthanded and things like that. Those are all things that really impact your business as well. So it's not just a monetary thing, it's something that really affects the business in a very negative way. And if we're really going to make a difference on this, and if we're really going to make a change and help our business, we've got to start with having great employees that love what they do. That's got to be something that's super important to you as an owner, because if you truly do want to grow it, the only way you're going to grow it is if you have employees that are not leaving you. Because as soon as you start losing people, you're back where you were. And nobody wants to go backwards. You want to always be in a position of power when you're managing and running your business, not a position of weakness. That makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's move on to the next slide. So it's an employee market out there. I mean, obviously, there's more jobs available than there are workers, and that's never really a good thing to be in. I mean, it's a great economy that we're in, and that's usually a byproduct of a good economy. But the problem is that, again, where do we find these people? If they don't like what they do, they're going to jump ship and move on to the next place. I mean, how many times have you looked at a person's resume and seen that every 2 or 3 months they're jumping from one job to another? It happens all the time, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. And, back in the day, 15 years ago or so, that was a real detriment. If you had people that were really doing that, it was a detriment to you, the potential employee, because they'd look at it and say, well, this guy just jumped ship. Well, the problem is that it's not always, it can be, it's not always that the employee is a bad employee. It could be that these guys understand that there's work out there to be done, and they're trying to find the best fit for them. They could be outstanding employees and have a resume where they've jumped ship a few times a year. But it's because they're looking for something that maybe they haven't found yet. So we do a lot of hiring here, obviously, and I can't tell you how many people that I've hired that have not held a job regularly over, say, 5 years or so. And it's not that they're jumping 4 or 5 times a year. Those kind of people I don't really necessarily look at, but I look at more than just that. And one of the things that I always tell people that we work with when we do hiring for them is we want to make sure that when we hire a good employee for you guys, that you guys have the bed work laid, so that they come into a business, they feel they're important, they go through these 6 things that we're going to talk about today. And those 6 things are going to be the things that are going to be critical to creating the right culture for your business. So in other words, what I'm trying to say is we don't give up our control to our employees just because we need to find a good employee. But we make the employee, where our job here, a place where good, high-performing people want to work. When we can do that, you're going to find that people will stop, they'll stay, they'll be vested in your business, and they'll be productive employees that will work the long term for you. Good example is I helped a guy up by your neck of the woods, William, up in Seattle. He couldn't find anybody to work for him. And within 2 years that didn't eventually leave. I think his longest employee was 6 months. So you can imagine every 6 months or less, he was turning somebody over.
Mm-hmm.
We went to work for him, helped him out, found 2 employees for him, and those people are still working today, a couple of years later for him. And in fact, this guy's wanting to sell and move, and one of his technicians is in a position now to buy the business from him. So it's been a great relationship that he's had with them. So keep that in mind. We're not out there trying to find superstars and then plug them into bad businesses. What we want to do is we want to find superstars and plug them into businesses that are functioning well, that accept good performing employees.
Okay.
All right, let's move on here. So this is really important to small business. So when you have few employees within your business, that can always be a problem. You lose one employee and you're in big trouble. Tim, I mean, you lost that guy because he had that surgery and he never came back. I mean, think about how bad that hurt you for a while.
Oh, yeah. I really counted on him for a month. And
right.
Yeah.
And what were you doing the whole time? You were out there trying to fill the gap that he had made by not being there.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. It affected us several different ways. So
Exactly.
Quality, speed down. I think we probably passed on a few jobs because of that. So
Yep. Yeah. So, and that was kind of a fluke. I mean, he obviously had a medical issue and things like that. But what we want to do is we want to have people who love what they do. We want them to come to work every day and know that what they're doing is making a difference within the business and to their own personal lives. And that will make a big difference on their long-term happiness and commitment to your business. So let's kind of keep that in mind as we talk today. And we refer to that as culture. Okay, so a lot of people say, well, you need to have better culture within your business. Well, what does that really mean? That is such an ambiguous word. It's so hard to say, hey, we have good culture, you have bad culture. Nobody really knows what that means. But what I'd really like to just kind of get across to you today is that what it says in the paragraph up here above. It says your employees and their long-term happiness and commitment to your business make all the difference. If they feel loyal to you and they've made a long-term commitment and they're happy at what they do, that to me is great culture, because you're obviously doing some things that are really important to make them feel like they're part of the group. So let's go through these 6 things. And again, I want to get your feedback and how you feel about different things with this, because I think it's important that we discuss some of these things as well. So the first point that I have here is understanding the individual employees' their goals. What do you think that means? What do you think it means to understand their goals? What do you think that implies that you as the owner have to do that?
Well, you have to understand, this is Mike, you have to understand what their goals are. Is it a short term? Are they looking to build a career? Are they looking to just get knowledge? Are they looking to get through the day, the month, the week, or what have you?
Yeah.
What they feel is important to themselves over either short term, midterm, or long term.
Right. Absolutely. I think it's a matter of you as the owner. I mean, you guys are out straight 110% every day. You guys are doing things. I think one of the things that's really important to take a small part of time out is to get to know your employees better, understand them, know not only their personal goals, but what do they want to accomplish professionally? What are they good at? What do they love to do? Once you start to get to know your employees a little bit better, you can actually deploy them better according to their strengths rather than their weaknesses. A lot of people jump ship because a job really caters to their weakness rather than their strength. And if we can really focus on helping and understanding individual employees better, then I think we're able to deploy them according to what they do best. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, and it's all part about having this frank conversation with them. It's not beating around the bush. It's not, having conversations about, how's the weather today and things like that. It's actually having a frank conversation about them, about what they're trying to do, what they want to do, what's their commitment level, what are the things that we can do better to help deploy those strengths better for you. So as you get to know your employees, this is one of those steps that I think is really, really important for you, is to take time to get to know them. I think that will do you a lot of good as a business owner and as a person who's looking to keep people for a long time. Okay, let's go on to the next one. Number 2, engage through in communication and transparency. So, letting your employees know about what's going on in the company and how it's performing and things like that. I mean, you can let them in on some information, not all information. It's completely up to you. But when an employee really feels like they're part of something, there's a level of understanding that you usually don't have if they don't know anything about the business. So I like having my employees being I call it ownership, and I want them to feel like they have some ownership. They know how we're doing. They know what we're up against, what we've been doing right, all of those different things, and they can become an integral cog in your workmanship of your business to help move it forward. A lot of times, if you have an employee who's not, good at all, there's not a lot of good communication. There's not a lot of transparency within the business. They just come in for the job. They're here 9 to 5. They don't care about anything else. All they want to do is just get their job, do their job, and get paid. And to be honest with you, that's the employee, number one, that's not going to have great productivity. Number two, And they know that they don't care if they call out sick or if they're late or something, that it's going to affect the business. And number three, they're probably already looking for another job, because nobody wants to come and work and just be a nobody. Everybody wants to come to work and feel like they're part of something bigger than themselves. And so you allowing them to know, have that communication, bring them in and talk to them about what the business is doing is a huge part of that. Think about that for a second. I mean, if you were an employee and you want to do more than being just a technician, but maybe you'd like to be a lead tech, or maybe you'd like to take over part of the business and do some things. That's just not going to happen if I'm not feeling involved from the beginning. And so it's line upon line and helping these guys build ownership and dedication to the business through this better communication. Does that make sense to you guys?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Okay. Any comments? Anything that's happened to you guys in the past? Good example of having good open lines of communications with employees in the past?
Yeah, we're having a struggle with that because we don't speak Spanish all that well up in this area. but we're working on it.
Like you better get on that one. You better learn that really quick.
Google Translate.
That's hilarious. Yeah, Google Translate. And that's funny that you bring that up, because that's, in some cases, that's our perception of what our technician is. And a lot of times those guys that don't speak English, maybe they want more, maybe they don't. But I promise you, Mike, there's probably people out there that as you get ready, I know you're getting ready to hire some people and get a new crew going. There are going to be people who want to communicate with you as well. Sometimes these guys use the I don't speak English thing as kind of this wall because they don't want to have anything else added to what they do and things like that.
Yeah.
But there's people out there that we can help you find that will be more engaged and have better communication with you. And I think they want to be more than just a technician. They want to be a crew chief or whatever it is that we want to do.
Yep, exactly.
Okay?
Yep.
Awesome. Well, let's go on to the next slide here. So encourage opportunities for growth. To me, this is, all right, so you guys are the owners. You guys wear how many hats every day, right? 10, 15 different hats a day. You have to be the HR guy one time, you have to be a technician the other, you have to be whatever. And so you have to wear all of these different hats. If I'm an owner of the business, and this is some of the things that I've done when I've owned businesses in the past, is I've encouraged people to take on a little bit more than what their job description tells them, because I want to give them an opportunity to show me how great they really are. And so I give them little assignments. Tim, we were in Tulsa talking to your people. We gave Abby, the inventory and Facebook responsibilities, and we talked to Chris about his responsibilities, and that we gave them an opportunity to really kind of show us what they can do. And this is what this is all about. I love, as an employee, and I'm sure all of you can speak to this as well, if I go to work and I feel challenged because I've got opportunities to really do good things, then I'm in the environment that I want to be in. I'm less likely to jump ship and go someplace else, as long as I have these opportunities to grow. Does that make sense to you guys?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Tim, I mean, do you think that that's making a difference to your people?
Yeah. You take Abby in particular. She's 19 going on 20, and obviously you got onto she knows her social media very well. So yeah, she not only took on the Facebook business and still getting better at that, but she helped us with Google Drive and organizing our weekly communications in a better way, and pictures, our before and after pictures, and really stepped it up. And she came up with a spreadsheet for keeping track of inventory a little better. So
that's awesome. She's a great girl. I really like Abby a lot. She's going to do some good things for you.
Yep.
And these things that we're doing to help keep her challenged and stretch a little bit and obtain some goals, I think is probably going to work wonders for her. She's going to feel even more and more interested in doing a better job for you too.
Yep.
That's awesome. So don't be afraid to take some of this weight off of your shoulders and to allow people within your business to help you with some things. Not only is it good for you, but it's good for your employees. They feel like they're part of something. They're not just the lackey who comes into work every day to do the job. They know that there's responsibility on their shoulders, and that part of the success of this business is up to them. So I think this one, number 3, is one of those that I really like, and I think it's important to do. All right, number 4, show you value them by getting them involved. So this is a little bit like the last one that we talked about, but you know, it's a little bit more than that. Use them as for ideas and different things like that. There's, you know, we go into business ownership thinking that we have this great idea of how we're going to run the business, and then 6 months down the road, you know, that's not really working out so well. I got to do something different. Well, you have these people that work for you that probably can help you with some of that stuff, not only with the doing part of it, but actually contributing to maybe doing it a little bit better way, or allowing them to use their strengths differently so that it actually comes out. The result is better than it has been in the past. Help them, you know, let them help you solve some problems. You know, I was just thinking the other day, Tim, that you know, if Abby had a day off, or that you didn't have a job on a Friday or something like that, I'd go give her a bunch of your door hangers and let her go hog wild on some neighborhoods with that. And you know, you're still paying her, but at least she's being productive doing that. She feels like she's part of something because, you know, I'm going out there and I'm actually trying to get some extra customers. I'm trying to do some things that's going to help the business grow. So get them involved, get them doing some things that are really going to help the business, but also help them feel like they're part of something more.
Yeah, my 2 cents on that is I haven't had any suggestion that I could think of recently that wasn't a good one. You know, even just little things about, you know, why don't we store this here? It'd be easier to get to. I mean, you know, just little things they do. You know, and it doesn't take much to get that out of them. So,
you know what I like about that, Tim? I hope that you see this, and I'm sure you do, that when you have employees that are making suggestions like that, they feel a couple different things. Number one, they feel like they can share their ideas, that there's an open door policy type thing there. And number 2, they feel like they have some ownership and they want it to be better. That to me tells me that I'm on the right track of building the proper type of culture within my business. That's one of those, what I would call an indicator that the culture within your business is getting better. So that's great news to hear that they're doing that kind of stuff. And I would encourage everybody who's listening to this to also look for those indicators as well. Okay, let's move on to slide number 5. Make it easier for them to do their job. So this kind of goes along with also letting them, you know, come up with some ideas. But you as the owner, you know, one of the things is that helps you to be the most profitable is that you are working always on productivity. Productivity is that one thing that really drives profitability within your business. And if you're making it easier for them to do their job, then there's less obstacles to get in their way of getting things done, and therefore they can get things done at a little bit more timely manner. So if you're asking them to mask, and you know, we got to get masking done before noon today, but they have to do things the old-fashioned way, and it takes them twice as long. But if you were to spend $10 more and get better tape and a tape gun and all those different things that make it easier for them, then that actually helps them feel better about their job. They feel like what they do and their goal of getting done by noon, it matters to you, and that you're investing that time and effort into making sure that things are getting done for them. So look at what they do. If productivity is not really where it needs to be, is it because they're not committed or compliant to getting things done, or is it because I haven't instituted things that could make things better for them? And if it's something that's on your side of things, I would make sure that I'm taking care of that, so that they do feel like they're working for somebody who takes care of them. think that makes sense to you guys?
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Awesome. Go
yeah,
ahead, Mike.
I just another comment on that. And this is me getting in the way. For a couple of reasons, I was waiting to order equipment until the last minute, just kind of a just-in-time thing. Tried that for a while. 2 jobs in a row, they had to rearrange the job because they didn't have product in time. So that, it felt bad to, kind of let the team down. That did not make their job easier for sure. So
Yeah, and the unsaid thing or the unspoken part of that is that they probably to themselves like, wow, what's going on? What am I doing working here? Because if they would have just done this, it would have been a lot easier and we could have moved on to the next one. It just gets them kind of like feeling kind of weird about it, and not that you're going to do that over and over and over again, because I know you and we've talked about this before, but we want to take that away. We want to take that feeling that there's you and there's them. We want it to be together. We want you guys working together on things, and that you're trying to provide a better workplace for them, an easier way to do jobs and things like that, rather than against each other. And this is one of those things that I think goes miles for employees, is helping them do their job a little bit better, finding better ways to do it. Okay, let's go on to 6. Don't underestimate the value of time and money. Okay, so what does that mean? In my opinion, what I think it really boils down to, and there's a lot of different things here, is your time is valuable, their time is valuable. Your money is valuable to you, and what they earn is valuable to them as well. So what does that really mean? If I'm an owner and I've got an employee who's got a newborn baby that's just learning, I don't know, to crawl or something like that, and they want to get home to see that, I'm going to make sure that I find time to help them achieve their personal goals, because I hope on the backside of that they're going to help me find time to achieve my goals for the business as well. So it's a kind of a two-way street, and that's kind of what you want to foster, is this two-way street of, I'm going to be there for you and you're going to be there for me. And when we value their time and we value what they're there for, they're going to in turn, hopefully, if you do everything right, value your time and value what you're doing for the business. And it helps you guys to come together more as a group, rather than individuals working individually for different purposes. So understanding them. So going clear back to the first step of understanding them and their goals. That's, there's no way that you're going to be able to value their time and their money if you don't know who they are and what they're doing. Make sure you understand them, understand where they're coming from, what's important to them, and make sure that you support what's important to them, and they will support you when it comes to what's important to you. We talk about that as work-life balance. I've had a lot of people tell me that you need to have work-life balance. I've also had a couple of people tell me, there's no such thing as work-life balance. So you're always going to be working the majority of your time, and the minority of your time is going to be time spent doing the things that you want to do. Well, that may be so, but the time that you work, so that majority of time, that 8 to 10 hours that you work every day, if you're doing what you love to do and you're surrounded by people who love what they do, that can be part of that work-life balance for you and for your employees. And that's why it's so important for us to really create a better culture within our work environment, because I'm telling you right now, if we don't do these things, if we don't work on really helping our employees value where they work, they're on to the next one, because there's enough people out there who are hiring right now to do that. And you guys know that we do hiring for employees, and I can't tell you how many times I have brought great people to owners of businesses and said, you need to hire this person. This person is really, really good. And then they waited 3 or 4 days to call them. Well, number one, that tells me that they're not interested in it. And that tells the employee, the potential employee. And then they finally do get to talk to them, and they say, well, why don't we, have a phone interview, or why don't you come and meet me at the job site where I'm really busy or something like that. And to me, that just tells me that you're not showing the interest in your potential employee. Why not meet at a Starbucks or something like that where you can sit down in a better environment and talk to somebody? All I'm trying to say is treat them the way you would like to be treated, show them the respect up front, create the environment that they're going to succeed in, and do these 6 steps. And I think that you'll find that as you have new employees come to work for you, that they're going to stay longer. They're going to feel more a part of the team. They're going to want to do things that in the past normally maybe you didn't get out of some of your employees. And along the way, we can always help with you guys. And you know that because you guys are all customers of ours, and you are welcome. And I know you know this, but you can always call and talk to me, and we can go through things or scenarios or issues or concerns that you might have with employees. What can we do to make better environment? How do we keep this guy here? What are some of the things that we can do to do this or whatever it may be? And that's part of being part of the HubSuite family, is that we can take care of each other and we can use this information to really help you guys out. What do you guys think about the 6 steps that we talked about so far? Think that they're important?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Mike, we know that they're important. How hard is it to get these things going within the business when you have the day-to-day pull of everything that's in front of you?
Oh, it's not easy. It's difficult. I mean, it's hard to find the time to get away and really sit down and evaluate what you need to do. But you have to do it if you want to grow. It's that simple.
Yep, you're absolutely right. It's a matter of, as the owner of the business, establishing what is the most important things for you in your business.
Yeah.
You know, and you have to make sure that those important things, those must-haves in your business, are done on a day-to-day basis. Things like going out and you know, masking cabinets and things like that may be important because it's important for that job. But what's the most important thing, or where's the best amount of time that could be spent within your business, and what should you be doing during that time, is what you really should be doing. And I always tell owners, as long as you act like an owner instead of as this is just a job, things are going to be better for you. You're going to put better things into better priority. Things like pulling the trigger on hiring a new employee becomes less stressful, because you know that as an owner, that's the next step of what we need to do with this business. And even though it might be an expense that goes along with that, if I don't do it, then the expense is going to be greater because I won't be able to grow the business. So you're thinking more like the owner rather than the operator. And that's where I really want you guys to start doing with this. And that's what happens with culture within a business. If you guys think about it as a business rather than as a job, and you really try hard to include your employees and what they do, wonderful, great things start happening with your employees. They just become part of the family. They become part of something great, and your business begins to grow and to flourish.
No doubt.
Right.
No doubt.
Yeah, great. So salaries and bigger benefits are helpful for retaining star employees, but for small businesses, facilitating better communication, making employees feel valued, and creating opportunities for things like education and growth are equally as important. So, you know, you kind of feel a little handicapped a little bit because some people don't offer some of the best benefits, or maybe no benefits. But that doesn't mean you can't be a great place to work. Have that great communication. Help your employees become great by allowing them to be a part of the business and part of the solution. Create opportunities for them. Give them the education that they need to flourish and to do right. And great things will really start happening to your business. Your employees and you are the biggest stop gaps to performance within your business. If you don't treat this like a business, then it will only be a job. If you don't hire great people and give them the opportunity to succeed, it will only be mediocre performances within your business. It's when you make that decision to be a great owner and a great manager of people that things will start working for you. Any questions or concerns?
No.
Is there anything that I can do to help you guys to help build some of this culture within your business? I know, Tim, you and I, we've talked about this quite a bit, and we've put some things into place. But like I said, we're part of the HubSuite family here. I'm here to help you guys on a day-to-day basis if needed, and really help you guys find those good people and put them into practice. So anything I can do for you guys?
No, but I'm going to be sending you something about trying to get a meeting next week to move a little forward,
Great.
With hiring. So Sam and I have talked about it, and like I told you, I'd let you know by Friday. So here it is, Thursday. That yeah, we'll try to coordinate our schedules next week and sit down and kind of come up with a plan.
Okay. And William, if you're, I know you got your son who's gone through training and he can help you out.
Yes.
You get, close some deals and get some of that money flowing for you guys. I would be more than happy, William, to help you with some sales training on the side, just me and you one-on-one. You just need to reach out to me and let me know what you want to do, and I'll be more than happy. I don't want to be the guy who makes the decisions for all of you guys, for everybody. I want you guys to kind of, this is where I want to go, and then let's involve Dan and see if Dan can confirm or help or whatever. That's my job. I'm here to help you guys.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'll definitely reach out to you. I'm just waiting to have some closing some estimates, and then
before then, I'll help you with closing some estimates so that we can help you get that going. Okay.
Yeah, I'll shoot you an email maybe sometime next week, and then we can set up some time.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Tim, is there anything I can do for you?
Just one comment. I mean, this is probably, again, probably off air later on. I am lining up the possibility of hiring a part-time salesperson, and I got to looking at salespeople jobs ads for others on Indeed, and quite a few of them have benefits, a lot of benefits. And that to me is just like the first big roadblock, because I can't offer any of those right now. And, that thinking of how to maybe take one thing that I can offer and really hammer on that, or I don't know, some strategizing on.
Yeah, so you got to think about it in tiers. So there's higher end sales positions out there that are going to be, maybe like a pharmaceutical job or something like that. And obviously those guys are going to offer all kinds of benefits. But a lot of those people didn't start in the pharmaceutical jobs. They started at different jobs and worked their way up. If we could find somebody or help you find somebody that has a great personality, has a good work ethic, and is able to go out on estimates, we can turn them into a good salesperson. So I don't feel uncomfortable with that. We're just not the pharmaceutical company. We're just not those other people. We're going to get somebody who's more entry level.
Yeah, and the one I saw in particular, it was a cleaning service, probably a franchise, but it was very similar franchise type outfit, but it was a full-time salesperson, so probably are going after somebody that has experience. But anyway, I just saw that as a little bit of a roadblock to getting somebody that might be already geared up and ready to go.
Well, when you're ready, we can test the waters, and we can work on interviewing them together and things like that, and what we're looking for.
Okay.
So we'll figure that out. Mike, anything that you'd like to add?
No, I'm good. Thank you. I thought it was great.
Okay. I wanted to kind of keep it as short as I could so that you guys can get back to your families. But anyway, thanks you guys for coming here. Thanks for your business. We appreciate you guys. We appreciate all that you do out in the field. I know how hard it is to run a business. I've done it a few times myself. And if there's anything, well, let me back this up a little bit. I know the value of having partners, people that I can turn to and talk to and get help with. If you think about us that way, we're more than happy to help you guys out. We have a lot of people to pull from, a lot of information that we can share with you guys, not just about hiring, but a lot of things in particular. We're there for you guys. Thank you for all that you do. If there's anything you need from me, please let me know, okay?
Yeah, thank you so much. Dan.
Good
all
stuff.
right, guys. Thank you. Have a great day, and I hope you guys are killing it out there. Let me know if there's anything else you need.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
See ya.